Dance of the Damned, Book 1, Midnight Requiem. Warning: graphic violence. This work is not vegan-friendly. I refuse to apologize. If rampaging radishes, carnivorous lettuce, and salad catastrophe is more to your liking, then do not read my novel. Vampiric fae are decidedly carnivores. We humans are merely their cattle. Welcome to the madness. Sexual references, graphic violence and scenes. Enter at your own risk. Cash only, no checks or credit accepted. Gold and silver only. No refunds, caveat emptor. Now, on with the story. A minor prologue. Humans. Bah! Okay, maybe not all the humans. Just 99.9% of them are merely cattle, which, to be fair, they had been conceived and created to be. Even so, you have to be careful with cattle because when they are spooked or frightened, they become an out-of-control stampeding herd. There are a lot more of them than there are our cedar. Yes, we ice she may well be very hard to kill. We can be killed though. Outnumbered, stomped down by the rampaging herd, it would still hurt quite a bit. I don't care who or what you are, pain hurts. That kind of goes along with the concept, doesn't it? Synchronicity is a hard fact of reality. Lou's thoughts spun along, weaving their own webs as he watched the cattle shuffle along oblivious. Prey on parade, a living, breathing, mobile buffet. There, one burning bright with life's flames. Lou could taste her anger on the breeze. This would bring a tasty snack. High emotional states always add flavor. Hormones and pheromones, endorphins and adrenaline all spice the blood. Tasty. Lou watched as she walked across the packed parking lot. Red Lobster seemed busy this evening. He watched her disappear into the seafood restaurant. It amused Lou to seek his meal at restaurants. That irony tickled Lou's funny bone. He followed her in, standing behind her while they waited for the hostess to seat her. The humans actively ignored his presence, a genetically engineered pheromone response that had bred true in the cattle. The large lobster display tank bubbled, the whirring of electric motors and pumps creating a slightly annoying background hum. The scent of cooked and cooking seafood mixed with a light salt tang on the air, along with the many volatile emotions in the busy seafood place, brought forth memories of his past life on the coasts of Wales, Ireland, and Armorica. People entered, casually steered around him, avoiding him with no knowledge of who, what, where, or why he was. No one noticed him at all as Lou openly walked about the busy restaurant observing his chosen meal. She had ordered lobster. Lou chuckled to himself as he passed near her eating alone. He pretended to stumble, brushed his hand with a light furtive touch across her bare shoulder. "Oh, please excuse me," he murmured to her. He watched in amused fascination as his glancing touch showed subtle effects along her neck. The sudden rise of goosebumps spread across her shoulder and graceful neck along with a light flush. Oh yes, this one was nicely flavored already. Passing on by her, Lou was contemplating the many emotional flavors to choose from. She shuddered as if suddenly chilled. Without conscious thought, she found herself rising to follow him back out the front doors, across the open parking lot. It was time for a tasty snack. Lou decided a little stalking, a bit of playing with his food would enhance her complex flavors. He led her out of the public parking lot, along the sidewalk into the old antebellum cemetery. Savannah made prime hunting grounds. All of the benefits of New Orleans with none of the drawbacks or cliches. Who builds a city on the coast below sea level and thinks that is a great idea? Couple that with a river prone to flooding and you have tragedy just waiting to happen. Savannah is definitely a step up from New Orleans. Lou made sure she was aware of him as he taunted her for his amusement. Seriously? Is that what you think? That is very presumptuous of you. What did you think about as you chewed that tender lobster so succulent, glistening with melted butter? Did you even notice the creature's terror and agony as it shrieked its death cry? Did you care about anything other than taste, texture, how it soothed your appetite? Come, let me demonstrate your true purpose. Let me fulfill your life's meaning. Lou flowed about her, a flickering, flaming darkness. Ah, what of your feelings? Your emotions are merely my butter and garlic. I can taste your confusion, your fear, so tantalizing. What did you think we created you for? Companions? Worship? That is what dogs and horses were for. You are merely my meal. You are nothing more than a tender morsel to whet my appetite. Smiling widely so she could see his teeth, he laughed softly at her frightened gasp. Her fear pheromones overpowered the blooming jasmine and magnolias. She wanted to run, to struggle. She couldn't move. Frozen in place, she was merely Lou's frightened, quivering prey. Her taste, sweet with a rich bouquet, sharp like a fine peat-fired whiskey with subtle hints of rage and terror, fear and lust. Lou considered dessert as he casually stuffed the husk that remained of a human into a trash can. Mustn't litter after all. Give a hoot, don't pollute and all of that. Besides which, it is simply rude to casually throw one's trash onto the ground. Unless one is trying to incite a fight, rudeness is weakness revealed. Now, what is that flavor? She had left an aftertaste of citrus and berries. Lou couldn't decide between an orange Julius or a berry smoothie. Something fruity and icy and bold. Randomly, a craving for blackberry brandy possessed him. That would cleanse his palate nicely. Maybe a slice of key lime pie. So many choices, so many simple desires awaiting fulfillment. Lou smiled as he left the cemetery, ducking his head to avoid the Spanish moss. Yes, Savannah was shaping up nicely. This will make a wonderful lair. His new base of operations, central location, nearly equidistant between Miami and New York. 7 or 8 large cities within a day's drive. A sweet spot to linger and plan. Besides, there's the red clam chowder, not a heavy white cream chowder, a lighter red. Something Lou had come to enjoy almost as much as spicy sweet conch fritters. It had been a very long time since Lou had ventured forth, since he had left his home hidden deep within an ancient dolmen on the island of Jersey. Jersey, Lou's own private ballywhack. However, the wheel turns as it will, and there is no stopping fate or fortune. There is the manipulation and management of fate, though. The maneuver and direction of events is far preferable to trusting blindly to fate. It is far better to be proactive than to find oneself acted upon. One might say, it is better to be pissed off than pissed upon.
Lou could sense the urgency like an electric current on the air calling to him. The time had come at last. Now was the long-awaited moment. What rough beast slouches toward Bethlehem to be born? Lou had known W.B. Yeats. Billy Boy fancied himself a poet and a wizard. Well, the poet part was true at least. Lou preferred Dylan Thomas. Dylan had none of the delusional pretensions old Billy Boy held with the imagined wizardry. Dylan had managed to find a magic of his own that was loaded in his words. The Marigna tended to have that effect on men. Their century-long vacation in Abereron had certainly benefited Dylan. Lou moved along, a subtle fury of flames casting shadows in the night. There was work to be done before the new moon passed. Timing, as always, a critical element required for action. Timing directed choices, actions, and fate. It was time for tweaking fate, and for him to keep a long-awaited promise. Battles awaited for honor required labors. There can be no meaning found in simply existing. Lou knew a purpose. He had long had a goal to right a wrong, to soothe his shame. The best part of it all is that his ex-wife would dance to his tune unaware. Ignorance brings sweet bliss. She had slaughtered the innocent child of his paramour in her rage at his perceived betrayal. A completely unacceptable action. The point had been to right the wrong, his failure of millennia before. Now to right the balance with a vicious irony. Twisted, certainly. Cruel, obviously. Justified. Well, that's a bit more complicated. Lou would serve his honor, justice and vengeance all at once. When this all played out, she was going to be pissed. He had warned her of the costs of her rage. She had no idea of the depths he could or would mine for his gem of perfect vengeance. Lou was a thoroughly patient she. Centuries meant nothing to him. Now at last the breeding program had finally paid off. The game was afoot, though which is to be Sherlock, which would be Dr. Watson, and who would play Moriarty remained to be seen. It was time to pay the piper and call the tune, the eternal song of madness, tragedy and pain. Love is complicated in the dance of the damned.
Hellhounds at her heels, a courtesan of death, black magic her appeal. There was evil in her heart, death lived in her eyes, a smile, a twist of madness, she held me mesmerized. Her footsteps rang with power, she smiled and blasted the tower. The ten of swords, as pretty as you please. Treason, pure madness in its season, an evil dream glowing for release. Is this love? Is this lust? Is this fire or dust? Something I can't understand. Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respite? Lost in this dance of the damned. Her gaze is a light with thunder and fire, a tale filled with powers untold. Her smile is insane, like a razor to vein, lightning to wake up my soul. She set fire to the night, to dance in its light, till yesterday's ashes are cold. She's the raven's delight, conquer the night, dawn's dark delight. Oh, the promise of morning and pain.
Her rhyme is the reason, sweet madness in season. The blood knows the memories made.
This is love. This is love. This is love. This is fire or dust. This is something I can't understand. This is wrong. This is right. Is this evil's respect? Am I lost in this dance of the dead? So I showed her my heart, the dark, empty parts, all the thirst and the hunger within.
Then she swallowed my night, gave wings to my flight, stoking my fires of sin.
Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respite? Am I lost in this dance of the damned?
Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respite? Am I lost in this dance of the dead? Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respite? Am I lost in this dance of the dead?
Her smile is insane, like a razor to vein, lightning to wake up my soul.
She set fire to the night, to dance in its light, till yesterday's ashes are cold.
She's the raven's delight, the soul of the night, with a hunger for darkness and souls. Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respect? Am I lost in this dance of the dead? Oh.
Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this evil's respite? Am I lost in this dance of the dead?